So, I'm officially in the last year of my 20s. I just turned 29, and this feels like a pretty pivotal point in my life. And having vlogged for over 10 years now, I have the privilege of getting to look back at the entirety of my 20s. There have been many highs, many lows, lots of in between, lots of changes and growth in my life, and I'm so excited to see what's to come. Not jumping ahead, I'm still only 29, but having this be the last year of them, I want to share how I am prepping for this next decade and setting myself up for this next chapter of my life. So, welcome to the end of my 20s. Honestly, I've felt a pretty dramatic shift in the last 6 months of 2023, where I just feel my overall priorities changing, my wants, my desires, everything kind of shifting subtly. I don't know, maybe it's natural and maybe that's what happens at the end of your 20s. Either way, I'm here for it. I'm really liking the way this feels. And today I want to walk you through some of the habits and goals that I plan on implementing before the big 3-0. I'm actually not stressed about it, like it's fine. At the beginning of my 20s, I was sleeping until like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 1. I would sleep. But as I've gotten older, I definitely find myself prioritizing a good morning routine, what makes me feel good, good habits, and I know that it's really important to be consistent with it. Obviously, through your 20s, things are constantly changing, whether it's school, travel, social life. It's really hard to be consistent all the time. And that still stands now. Like, there are definitely going to be times where you are not going to want to make your bed in the morning. You're not going to want to do the skincare. You're going to want to lie there and scroll. And those days are normal. I think it's fine. But I think overall, having a more structured morning routine can really help set a positive tone for your day. So that's something that I'm highly prioritizing this year and for my future.
Now, I will say, it would be a lot easier getting up early if the sun could at least be up, but there's not really much I can do about that, so we just gotta make it work. 7 a.m. feels good to me. I know that personally, I am somebody that does really well and really productive in the mornings, kind of tapers off mid-afternoon, so getting up early just helps me start my day on the best note, get the most done right away, which also helps me feel less stressed in the afternoon. Something I've been working towards for a long time is my skincare routine. I absolutely cannot go into my 30s without a consistent routine that I actually do every single day, every single night. Taking care of your skin is so important, and I think I just need to simplify the routine to make it a little bit easier, a little faster, because I am somebody that that likes things fast, easy, and efficient. So for the mornings, cleanser, vitamin C, moisturizer, and then SPF. I have to get better at SPF on the face. I am currently not good at that, but I know that as I age, I will thank this version of myself for adding it truly to the routine. Now, if anyone can recommend a good SPF for the morning, let me know in the comments because I need to get a good one. Water consumption, also really important, but like, I don't think I need to tell you that. Now, I've talked about this, but going into my 30s, what's really important to me is my health. Like, it's something that I've thought about significantly more in the last 6 months than I have in the course of my 20s. Like, I didn't really think about the foods that I was eating. I am a girl of convenience. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I can still do the easy, convenient thing, but I can prioritize the healthier version of it. And usually that makes me feel a whole lot better. It's not only food that I want to prioritize, you know, being better at, but it's also taking my supplements. I've actually gotten a lot better. First things first, I always take my Ritual multivitamin. I've been working with Ritual for a while now. They've actually sponsored quite a few vlogs, including this one, so thank you. I really love the brand. Like, they're super transparent with everything that goes into these, even to the point where the capsules themselves are transparent. This here is their Symbiotic. It's a prebiotic, postbiotic, and probiotic. The Symbiotic Plus is really important for gut health, which actually affects a lot going on in the body. Things like stress and travel can really affect the gut, so this is really important while I'm traveling or busy after the holidays, like just getting into the good swing of things. I'm just really prioritizing all of this stuff. And this one specifically has 2 of the world's most clinically studied strains of probiotics. They believe in the quality versus quantity of how many strains are in there. I can definitely tell you that this has made a big difference in my bloating. Like, I just don't feel as bloating all the time, which is, you know, a horrible feeling, so it's nice to not feel that way. If you're also on the health train at the beginning of this year, definitely check them out. You can get 40% off with my code TaraNewYear40. And if you're not into it after the first 30 days, then your order's on them. So it's really no risk if you want to try it. I also always have my iron supplements. This is important for me, but I am trying to up my protein this year, so maybe this won't have to be a thing. Lastly, for the lineup, I like to have a little chewable vitamin C. I know having orange juice would be better, but it's better than nothing. And that's just to help the iron absorb better in my system. And that's my supplements. But as mentioned, the health I'm looking for this year and going into my 30s is a lot more than just taking supplements and eating better. Although eating better is a really big one. Like, I know I need to limit some of the processed frozen foods that I eat, not because they're not delicious, but because they don't like fuel me and give me enough nutrients that I know will make me feel better. When I do prioritize meal prep and eating just more whole foods, which is really the priority, I feel the difference in my energy. I feel the difference in the way my body feels, my digestion, like everything. My brain fog, like I just notice a big difference. I haven't even had a cup of coffee this morning and I feel pretty good. Speaking of coffee, I've read a lot of articles / I've seen a lot of TikToks about how it's not good to drink coffee the second you wake up. It's important to hydrate first and foremost because you've been sleeping for hopefully 7-8 hours and you should hydrate first. I think it's best to wait 60 to 90 minutes after waking up to have a first cup of coffee or some kind of caffeinated beverage. So we're gonna work on that. It's a little less fun, especially in the winter when I would just like a nice little warm beverage, you know, but that's okay because it's for my health. So key things that I'm prioritizing this year is meal prep. I do this sporadically, but I know that I feel my best when I have ready-made veggies in the fridge because otherwise I know I'm going for what's fast in the freezer, which there's nothing wrong with that. I am somebody that truly believes in moderation and balance, and I do not think or believe in cutting out everything that you enjoy or whatever's fast when you need it. Like, I do not believe in that, but I do believe that there are ways to go for what's fast and make it also more nutritious, aka meal prepping and having my veggies in the fridge for me, because when I do have those things prepped, that's what I go for. But when I don't, that's when I go for the frozen processed food. And I love frozen processed food. If you know me, you know I love. And there's no world where I will never have like my soup dumplings or any of that stuff again. There is no world. But the key is to prioritize whole foods, nutritious stuff that will actually fuel me. Now, kind of going off of, you know, the last thing, I just want to make better choices all around. Like, more than just, you know, the foods that I eat, supplements that I take, not eating as much processed foods, but just overall choices for myself. I have loved my 20s. I say it as if it's over, but it's not. Quite honestly, they have been full of partying, indulging in literally anything that I wanted, lots of sitting on my couch and doing absolutely nothing. But all around, like, I feel like I have lived. I feel like I lived my 20s to the fullest that I could. I have no regrets. I don't regret a single moment, a single thing that I ate, a single thing that I did, a single thing that I tried. Because that's what your 20s are about, like trying new things. We are young, even the 30s, we're young. And these are the days to do it all, to do everything safely. Everything in my life has happened the way it has for a reason. It's gotten me to where I am right now.
But I can't drink the same way that I could in my early 20s. Everyone says that the hangovers hit a lot harder as you age, and it seems that they are correct. I just see less value in the big nights out, or at least as many big nights out. I still want to have a good time. I like going out with my friends, but this year I do want to be more mindful of my alcohol consumption. It doesn't really go hand in hand with living a super healthy lifestyle. Obviously, I believe in balance. So I've decided, instead of doing a dry January, I'm actually gonna pick 1 week a month to have a totally dry, sober week. 7 days is super easy. It's super effortless, but also intentional. If I have a dinner that week, I'm drinking a mocktail, or I'm getting a soda, or just drinking water. And this way, at the end of the year, you've actually done 3 whole months of sober time. It feels way more maintainable. It also just feels a lot better than doing 1 whole month and then going right back to your routine. It kind of feels pointless, in my opinion. So all in all, really, I just wanna make better choices. I don't need to have a drink every time I go out. Obviously, it's part of society. Like, this is just the societal norm, but I just want to be more mindful going forward.
The other big healthy choice, obviously we've talked about this a million times, but if you're new here, I am not somebody that has ever really prioritized exercise. I'm naturally a smaller person and I just haven't needed to value it. I just didn't care, and starting running last year has just made such an impact in my life, and I've always fallen off when it comes to working out and trying to get into those routines. But I knew when I got into it this this time that it was really gonna stick, because I finally saw the value in exercise, which I know sounds insane, but I know that I'm not the only one that like just didn't care. I finally saw it as more than just what my body looked like, and I just want to feel good inside. I want to live a long life. I want to be healthy. I want to, you know, not be out of breath when I go up the stairs. There's so much to it, and my mental health has truly seen such an improvement. I just feel so chill. I feel chill, and I know that when I wake up in the morning and I do my run, I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna start my day off on such a good note. It's a game changer. We all know this, but sometimes it's hard to actually follow through, and I'm proud of myself for getting to this point. For the last year of my 20s, I just want to be confident in my boundaries, my decisions, myself, my choices, all of the above. Above everything else, oh shit. I want to prioritize my routines and the work that I'm putting into myself. I don't want to slack or let my boundaries slide because I'm worried it's going to upset somebody. Like, if you're more worried about upsetting somebody else with a choice that benefits you, you're only affecting yourself. I am somebody that really hates letting people down. I have to take this off and like wash it immediately. Hold on. I am a people pleaser to my core. The saying, you can't pour from an empty cup, is so accurate. Like, you truly do have to put yourself first, and I want to do that more unapologetically this year. Everybody says that when you're in your 30s, you really just don't care as much about the opinions of others. They hold a lot less weight, and I've definitely noticed that in the last 6 months to a year. And I gotta tell you, it feels really good to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's so easy to be consumed by other people's opinions and the things that people say about you, especially as somebody that's on the internet and has been on the internet for 10 years. This is my 11th year on the internet. My entire 20s have been documented and criticized online, and it's incredible to see the progression of my mindset throughout those years. As I've gotten closer to my 30s, I just don't care as much. Obviously, I have days where the opinions of others, or if somebody's mad at me or upset at me in my real life, obviously that upsets me. But the negative opinions from random people that do not know me, it really doesn't hold any weight. So for any of you that are struggling with outside opinions and, you know, handling that mentally, just know that it does get better. And I think as you gain more confidence, more life experience, it just doesn't matter as much. And with that, I also feel more confident in actually having my own boundaries and sticking to them. Something that I admire in a lot of my friends is how strong they are about their boundaries. I have a lot of friends that truly speak their mind, say what they feel, and I respect the heck out of them, like so much. And I tell them that. And so this year, I really want to work on figuring out my boundaries, being solid in them, and actually sticking to them. I am somebody who has always appreciated the little things in this world. Like, literally any kind of little thing I've always been excited about. I get excited over the smallest, like, little yummiest flavor, or even just like seeing the sun peek out, or a sunset, or a sunrise. Like, I appreciate all the little things in this world, and I think it contributes to my overall happiness and my mindset about the world. With appreciating a lot of the little things, it's easy to have a better mindset when things aren't as great, because you can still find the positive outside of whatever's going on in your life. Obviously, this is so dependent on, you know, your environment, your life, everything, but there's always something to be grateful for in this world, and I think it's really important to practice and be mindful of every single day. Practicing gratitude can be different for everyone. You can be the person that just goes out and appreciates little things in your day throughout the day, or you can be somebody that practices positive affirmation, listens to those kind of podcasts, just like always feeding yourself positivity. You can have an app on your phone that pops up on your screen. I actually have one. I forget what it's called, but I get little pop-ups throughout the day saying like, I am grateful for this and I am thankful for that. And it really just, it keeps it in your head. Or you can be the person that journals and writes things down. I've also been this person. I am kind of a combination of the three, actually. I've always journaled, but mostly as like diary entries going through my emotions, which I also think is really helpful to articulate your thoughts and figure out your emotions and why you feel certain things. I think taking the time to slowly write things down on a piece of paper just helps the brain process, and it helps you, again, articulate everything you're feeling. But I also write every single day in my notes 3 things that I'm grateful for, whether I write them all in one chunk at the morning or at the end of the day, or sometimes I will write throughout the day when something pops into my head. I give myself a baseline of 3 things, because there's always going to be 3 things I can be grateful for. But really, you know, the list can be as long as you want it to be. But it's 4 p.m., the sun's going down, and I want to take some time to journal and write down my feelings and kind of just process the new year, because I haven't written since last year, and it feels like a good time. I'm 29, the year is fresh, and there's so much good ahead that I just want to write down how I'm feeling right now. It's also really cool getting to look back at some of your old entries and whatnot and see how you were feeling and the times you were going through or worries you might have had, and seeing how it all ends up working out. Always, like, it always works out. If things are looking bad right now, like, it's not the end. It's always going to work out. I like to believe, at least. It gives me hope and positivity. My social media consumption is bad. It's bad. I think the worst thing that I do is when I wake up, I immediately open TikTok. It's just like habit, it's second nature. And you know what I do? I wake up early, I end up scrolling down a hole of nothingness for an hour. And that defeats the purpose of waking up early because I'm losing that time. One day I was just scrolling through the way I do, and then a TikTok came up being like, can you name the last 5 TikToks that you just watched? And I couldn't. And it really made me reflect on what I'm doing with my time. I mean, this is obvious. This is not new stuff for anybody, but it is truly mindless, like turn the brain off, swipe. There is nothing going through here. There's nothing going on. So in this last year of my 20s, I am being mindful of my social media consumption. I've given myself a rule: no TikTok in the morning. Like, I can't even click it. I saw something somewhere about how the first hit of dopamine that you get in the day is what you're gonna crave throughout the rest of the day. And if your first hit of dopamine is TikTok, you're gonna be naturally more inclined to click it and open it throughout the day, which then in turn reduces your productivity. And I don't know, social media in general is just a big distractor. It's really hard. I know we all struggle with this, but it's something that I want to be more mindful of. I don't want to have all these mindless wasted hours on an app that is just like meant to consume. Obviously what I do for a living is social media, but I think there's a balance between consuming and posting. Like, I think there's a balance, and that's something that I really want to improve on and adjust and find the right balance throughout this year. It's addicting for a reason, you know, but I just want to be more mindful of it. I just want to be more mindful of everything that I'm consuming in my life. I want positive influence. I want to listen to more podcasts that actually inspire me, and I can learn new perspectives and see the world in different ways and discover more ways to improve my life. I am on a big self-improvement journey, and that's something that I really am passionate about, and I hope to inspire you guys to be on the same journey here, because honestly it's really fun and it feels really good. So in 2024, less mindless scrolling. Something I meant to get better at in 2023 was practicing mindfulness. Didn't really get around to implementing this the way that I hoped. My life was kind of sporadic. I felt like I was never in one spot for long enough to get into a solid routine and really try to make it a habit. I mean, I'm just giving myself excuses. Like, I definitely could have done it. You could take 5 minutes to practice this. There are so many benefits to practicing mindfulness. It's essentially the practice of being present in the moment. It's very easy to constantly be thinking ahead and looking back at your past. It's very rare that we take the moment to actually be present in the current moment. I am a chronic overthinker. Like, I am never thinking in the present, and that's why I really want to make it a habit going into this year. I think it would greatly benefit my life. It helps you relax, it lowers your blood pressure. It can help if you're anxious and just like need to get out of your head for a second. If you just take a second to pause and really focus on your breathing or whatever you do during mindfulness, like I'm starting my journey here. It can seriously improve your mental health, your day-to-day. Another reason I really want to work on this is it can help with your focus, your memory, your decision-making, your emotional responses. It essentially just makes you a more stable human being. So I want to take just 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes is easy. I can find the time. I just need to prioritize it to meditate, do some breath work, whatever it is per day. I just want to actually take some time. It also makes a really big difference in your sleep, which leads me to the next thing that I'm seriously working on this year, which is solidifying my night routine. I think having a good morning routine actually starts with your night routine. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok do what's called a closing shift. For me, that's gonna be cleaning up and tidying my space for 10 minutes at the end of the day. This is so your morning self gets to wake up in the best possible environment. I have talked about doing this for so long, but sometimes it's really hard for me to actually stick to doing this every single night because I'll figure I can just get around to it in the morning. But then when I come down in the morning, I feel like I wanna get to my work. There's other things that have to get done, but waking up and seeing a messy space just leads to a cluttered mind. This is what I've heard my entire life, and I really think it's true. When I come down to the kitchen and it's clean, like I just feel truly my best. So every night is starting with the closing shift. I've had a really bad cue for sleep for a long time, and I am swapping that out with a cup of tea, some warm tea to bring up to bed, whether a bedtime tea, a detox tea, whatever I feel like at the time, obviously not caffeinated. We all have subconscious cues that we do without even realizing that we're doing them that are part of our day. I really want to have my cup of tea and know that it's bedtime, and then naturally my body will start winding down because it knows that this is part of the routine of going to bed. I have an Oura Ring to track my sleep. I absolutely love this, like I'm obsessed with it. I look at my stats every single morning to see what I've accomplished in my sleep, and the goal is definitely at least 7 hours. Obviously not every day is gonna be perfect, but I really wanna have a consistent time that I go to sleep and wake up. Putting yourself on a system like that really just helps your body in so many ways. I'm not a scientist, I don't know the facts, I just know it works. And lastly, I'm going to continue to push myself to improve and to grow, and not in a toxic way where I feel like I'm never gonna be good enough. Truly, right here, right now, I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of the person I'm becoming. Every single day that I make a conscious choice to do something good for me is a day that I count as a win. Even if you do one good thing today and you don't do it again tomorrow, the fact that you're trying is good enough. You are good enough as is, but I do think that it's a beautiful thing to have the opportunity to grow and the opportunity to improve. I think life would be so boring if we were just like, this is good enough. I think it's so incredible to watch yourself do these things, do things that you never thought you could do and succeed. It's so easy to get stuck in your regular habits, your routine. It's so much harder to try and break a cycle that you know isn't good for you, but it is so worth it. One of my favorite sayings is nothing changes if nothing changes. It's so true, it's so powerful. You have to make the change if you want to see different results. I personally like challenging myself. I like pushing myself to see what I can handle, what I can do. We all have choices in this world, and I am trying to be the best version of myself this year and from here on out. Being a year away from 30 is just a really good excuse to get started and get going. Finishing up with the nighttime routine, we're gonna do some skincare, cleanser, retinol, moisturizer.
And those are just some of the main habits that I plan on implementing into my life for the last year of my 20s, which sounds so dramatic, but I really feel like it is a shift in my life. And if you're also at this stage in life, let me know how you're feeling in the comments. I feel so many different ways. I'm excited to explore this last year with you guys and bring you along on the journey. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.